a podcast to honor the gods.
This better come with a sacrifice.
Dave X Media.
I just started the recording. I'm dying.
Oh, you're dying. Okay.
Yeah, we're in a strange alternate universe where I'm the one dying today. Welcome to The Bits, hosted by your
it's not
favorite
an
jam
alternate.
buds, Robert.
And Charlie. And this is not an alternate universe because I'm also still dying. So.
Well, you know what, Charlie? I don't have alternate universe vision, but you know what I might have?
The vision to see the treasured past.
Future company. Fuck, you fucked me up. Future vision.
I was just quoting National Treasure.
Of all things, National Treasure. Yeah, but we're looking at season 1, episode 39, Future Vision, which premiered January 29th, 2015.
Whoa!
Charlie, do we have any mail? Hey, Mr. Postman, bring me the post. Bring me the post I like the most.
Do. I will bring you that post. Let me see. We in fact got an email from one of our biggest fans. In fact, it is from Takena, the one, the only Takena. I was so thrown off by the fact that she has a real name, which I will not be releasing. But, like, the fact that the email was like, it's from this person, and I'm like, who the fuck is that? And then at the bottom it says Takena. I'm like, oh,
Big gasp.
right. You have a name.
People tend to have names.
Listen, no, your name is like your screen name. Like you're the fuck meme page.
Am I still the fuck meme page on that? No, I'm not. I'm just Zencaster host on this.
Yeah, that's because this is your Zencaster.
Wow, what a shock.
But whenever you guessed, you're the fuck meme page. So
the fuck meme page.
All right, let me read this lovely email from Takena, which is headlined "The Diamond Line?" ? Because that's what I made our email on our credits, where you're contacting the diamonds. We are in fact the diamonds. So it's the Diamond Line. Hello, Charlie and Robert. I'm writing you because I thought it would be nice if you had an email to read, but I will probably not do this often. My emails are chaos. But please email us. We love chaos. Chaos is good. It's what we do here. She says, y'all were wondering who doesn't like Steg. I do not like Steg because I don't like Greg. This is blasphemy. I know Takena doesn't like Greg, but like Greg. I love Greg. So she says, which I think has a lot to do with the fact that I watched the show as an adult and he's an awful parent. Like, take your kid to the doctor. Remember the time you spoiled Pink Diamond is Rose Quartz thing? Yeah. That was fun. I was literally so shocked. Did not see it coming at all. Yes. Oof. Remember when she listened to the pod and didn't watch Steven Universe? Or was like starting to watch Steven Universe?
And it's like, oops, yep.
This is why we had to be like, this is a spoiler podcast. I put that in her description. Oh, and then she said, also, since the question from 2 weeks ago wasn't put up on Instagram, that's my fault, Takena. I forgot to do that. I did not get to shame Robert for their question. No, Robert, my relationship with my dead mom is not great.
Oof.
Love the show. Thanks for introducing me to Steven Universe.
Yeah, my relationship with my dead dad's not that great either.
Boy, howdy. Y'all are just existing here. Maybe someday we're just gonna have to like have a talk with Takena about if is Greg the worst or is he not the worst? And I'm gonna be on the side of he's not the worst because I love Greg. Sorry, he's just the fun guy.
He's a mushroom?
He's a mushroom?
Yeah, could you say he's a fungi?
Hey,
I'll be here all week, folks.
I'm also a fungi. I'm a
Yeah.
mushroom.
Yeah. Sometimes you're fun.
Only sometimes. Okay. I can just leave.
No. We are bound. We are Sisyphus, and this podcast is our boulder. We will roll it up the damn hill, and then it will roll back down. And we will rinse and repeat this cycle until we finish Steven Universe Future, I guess. And then we can die.
I mean, we still need to finish Steven Universe Season 1, which I feel like it just keeps going and going and going.
Hey, we have 11 more episodes plus our bonus episode, which is coming out in a couple of weeks. No, I'm sorry, next week from when this episode's coming out.
You'll never guess who's going to be on that episode.
You'll never fucking guess. It's wild who the guests we got. I need to preface it's someone special to both of us, but people special to the two of us, but it's not like we didn't get like Rebecca Sugar on the podcast or anything. Trust me.
Rebecca
I would be
Sugar who?
I'd be shouting it from the fucking rooftops if we got like Rebecca Sugar or like Zach on the podcast or something.
Yeah, it'd be wild.
I feel like Zach should be relatively. Isn't he a Twitch streamer, or am I thinking of the kid who played Henry in Once Upon a Time?
I think you're thinking of Henry instead.
Let's get him on the podcast.
You know what's wild? Henry Mills and Steven Universe having the same birthday.
Oh yeah, this is a fact that I found out about.
I will never forget this fact.
Right, it's wild.
It's so weird.
Did you share that fact when you were on your one and only episode of Entering Sturbrook?
No, but I feel like I've shared that fact on this pod before, specifically.
Maybe.
Because we tried to figure out when Steven was born. They were probably born in the same year, honestly.
What if they were born in the same hospital? Oh no, this isn't Maine. This is
Delmarva.
Delmarva, there we go. Which is, as we all know, is not near Maine.
I mean, it's Delaware, Maryland, Virginia. It's that. That's what Delmarva is.
That is like southern, eastern United States. More western.
City.
Yeah, we got this. All right. So I think it's time we should start talking about this episode.
I guess. It could happen.
So the episode begins with Steven cleaning up his room. He's replacing all of his old toys and games with new ones because he's a grown-up now. Steven, you're not even 14 yet. I don't even think you're 13 yet.
We'll see if that helps. Okay. I was having a thought. I was in the middle of a thought when
How old is Steven?
It stopped. Yeah, I was like, so what has happened to Steven recently to make him like be like, oh yeah, I'm a grown up now and all of this. That's right. The last episode was the test.
Yeah. The last episode was the test, and I guess it's just playing more into like, oh, the Crystal Gems think that I'm a grown up who can pass their fancy schmancy tests, so I'm a grown up now. I gotta act the part. Trauma.
I mean, he's done so much. Like he's summoned the shield a couple times. He's healed people. He's fused. Like he's a grown boy. He can change up his toys to feel like an adult, I guess. I've been getting rid of stuff recently, so I understand.
You recently gave me your Doc Brown Funko Pop and a little hoverboard figurine. It's great.
Which was in fact my first ever Funko Pop, and I gave it to you.
I think my first Funko Pop was like, I want to say it was Reptar.
I have a Reptar.
Yeah, Reptar's cool. We fuck with Reptar.
As you should.
So Steven, as he's walking down the stairs, he slips on a tennis ball and Garnet catches him. Steven's like, hey, Garnet, you're always like at the right place at the right time. And Garnet's like, don't worry about it. And Steven's like, no, come on, tell me. I'm a grown-up now. And Garnet's like, well, okay, I'll tell you. I kind of have a future vision.
A future vision? A vision of the future?
I can see the future.
Wow. Shout
out to the people our age who did watch Dragon Ball Z Abridged and know that reference.
Shout out to not me.
It's fine. It's a good show. It's good. So they go down to the beach, and I love this cute little, like, Garnet does not need to exercise. Her form is made out of light. but still
Yeah,
she's doing this fun little like CD exercise jazz dance thingy with Steven. I don't fucking know how to describe it.
they bring this back at some point. I'm trying to remember if it's in future it might be in future or something. But like they definitely bring this specific exercise thing back
Mm.
as like it's Steven and Garnet's thing. It's very cute. I love that they just like do things together. Although like he lifts up these little tiny weights and she just lifts up her gauntlets.
Here's the thing. I feel like isn't Steven canonically like kind of strong, or am I misremembering this?
Yes. No, he's canonically like very, very strong.
He's at least canonically durable. I don't know if we've seen any feats of strength yet in Steven Universe.
Maybe not as of yet in the episodes.
Here's the thing. Basic I think it's physics. You can only dish out as much as you can take. That's butchering the fuck out of one of the third laws. I think that's what the third law of physics or whatever. I forget.
If you say so.
Hold on. I need to Google this. Hold on. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. There we go. That's what I'm trying to say. So if we can determine what Steven's like the maximum punch that Steven's taken, we can determine more or less what Steven's maximum output is at this time, theoretically. It could be more because maybe he hasn't met anyone yet who has given him a big punch. I want to try and calculate how big a punch he gets when
it's Jasper.
When Jasper fucks him up. I love how it abruptly stops because Garnet just smashes the radio.
Yeah. She's just like, I'm over it. I'm done. It's because she's okay, as we've learned in the Meat Beat Mania situation, she's a slave to the rhythm. When there's a rhythm happening. So she's just like, I have to like destroy it, but like within the rhythm. Otherwise, I'll be stuck here forever.
Right. So Steven's like, well, hey, do you know what I'm gonna have for breakfast? And she's like, well, you're outside, so more than likely you're gonna go to the Big Donut. And he's like, whoa. I'm like, buddy.
She also like explains more about future vision. She does the whole thing about like the little creeks and the pools thing.
Yes. She explains it on the way. I feel like the trivia will categorize what kind of time, quote unquote.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
It has to, because there is this, I know there's a specific terminology for, I believe it's just like parallel universe theory, whatever the fuck, because her explanation, she sees a river and she sees all the diverging paths it can take. And that's just multiverse theory at that point. That's literally just multiverse theory.
Yeah.
I like how Steven is like, hey, what's going to happen if I say hi to Sadie? And Garnet's like, Sadie will say hi back. Cool. What happens if I say hi to Lars? Well, there's one possibility in which he says hi back and gives you a high five. There are other possibilities that you end up with severe burns.
Which do you think was going to happen? Most likely the severe burns was what was about to happen. As he goes to say hi to Lars, who was holding like a hot pot of coffee that he like throws in the air by accident, and it lands on Garnet because she steps in front of Steven at the right time.
And again, we get confirmation that Garnet is heat resistant. I mean, she can swim in lava. She's fine.
She's totally fine. Don't worry about her.
They continue going along the boardwalk and they stop at Beach City Walk Fries, which I keep forgetting that's the actual fucking name, but I have, the Wikipedia open on the side.
It's the bits.
It's just the bits. Well, the bits is what they eat. And Steven's asking more questions. And Garnet is like, well, there's a possibility you could die from eating the bits.
Like, she's literally just like every single way that you could possibly die. You could choke. You could fall in a manhole. You could killed by killer bees or something for some reason. Like, there's just okay. Garnet, you know what you've done? You've given Steven anxiety.
You've given the poor boy anxiety. How dare you?
You've driven the thought into his head that the worst could in fact happen. This is anxiety.
Right.
Yeah, so he gets his bits and he's just like, oh no, I'm scared to eat this. I'm scared to do anything. So he follows Garnet and starts having these little visions of what could possibly happen. Like, a shark could eat him. the big donut thing could fall off and kill him. Like, just the many fucking ways that he could die. Also, Cookie Cat is real in one of them.
Which is funny because if we're going off of quote unquote multiversal theory, it could vary.
Mhm.
We're just like lucky that the coin flip didn't happen, that Cookie Cat became real and killed Steven.
True. But also, like, this is great for like the Cookie Cat theories, I feel like.
Cookie Cat, he's a terrorist.
The whole like, Cookie Cat, you're real. I never considered you could be evil. It's the, hey, plot twist, the gems were evil. The gems were doing terrible things to the planet.
Kind of, sort of, yeah.
Which, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forgot how foreshadowy this episode and next episode get.
Yeah.
Like it was just wild for me to be like, oh, foreshadowing the hell out of this.
4 whole shadows.
So yeah, Steven now has, super anxiety. He's fearing everything. Nobody show this boy Final Destination. He will panic attack.
Yeah, literally, he goes home and then he's trying to make a sandwich, but he doesn't know how to do it without like hurting himself. He's got a helmet on. He's like, I can't use a knife. I'm just gonna like throw all of the mayo on top of the sandwich.
Now, I like mayonnaise on my sandwich. I have to say that's a little too much mayonnaise.
And then what did Garnet say? She's just like, you'll probably get like heartburn or something.
You'll die from that faster, which I appreciated. That's a funny joke.
Yeah, amazing. You'll die from that faster than like a, I don't know, plastic knife, it looks like. This poor boy, my poor son here is like being left alone now that he knows about Future Vision because the gems are going on a mission. And he's like, what? Everything's gonna kill me. What do I do? And what does Garnet say?
Garnet's like, well, whatever you do, don't stand on top of the roof.
No matter what.
No matter what. Which is exactly what you tell somebody who has severe anxiety.
Yep. So he has to think of all the possible things that could happen to him on the roof.
He goes out to the roof and hears the warp pad, and Garnet runs out. And Steven's like, God, everything got so much fucking worse ever since you told me about your Future Vision. What's the bad thing that's gonna happen to me if I'm on this roof? And then Garnet's like, this.
What's this? You'd get so much anxiety that like you would go on the fucking roof during a rainstorm for no fucking reason. But she was hoping that they could get closer. She did this at his expense. Which, wow, Garnet, how dare you? How dare you traumatize this poor child?
And then Garnet eventually is like, listen, there's millions of possibilities, but it's up to him to choose which one becomes reality, which kind of reminds me of the last line Doc Brown says in Back to the Future, which is, your future hasn't been written yet. It means your future hasn't been written yet. No one's has. Your future's whatever you make it of it, so make it a good one. And then he's talking to 2 characters, so he says both of you. So I got very big Doc Brown vibes from that.
You know what? That reminds me of a Doctor Who quote. We're all stories in the end. Make it a good one, eh?
It reminds me of another Doctor Who quote. Don't eat pears.
Yep. Exactly the same quote.
My favorite line from all of Doctor Who still is probably, remember, hate is always foolish, love is always wise. God, I fucking love Capaldi. I'm gonna rewatch the Capaldi series again. I'm having a great time with Ncuti Gatwa. I also found out that you're supposed to kind of like softly pronounce the N. It's not shooty like you keep saying. It's Ncuti. Like you hear a little slight N.
He didn't know how to pronounce his own name.
He allegedly apparently his mom was like, that's not how you say your name. There's an N for a reason. It's not silent. You have to say Ncuti, not shooty.
And he's been saying his own name wrong for years, and she didn't think to tell him until she saw him doing interviews.
Until he was Doctor Who. It's great. The episode ends with Steven climbing off the roof, giving Garnet a hug, him being like, I'm gonna watch out for myself from now on, and then Garnet just deflects a lightning bolt. Garnet is a lightning bender.
Correct. I mean, what is she? But she's the heat and the cold together. Like she's She's lightning. I think it makes sense. Absolutely. This is a good episode about anxiety. Also, just like listen, those little montages, the anxiety montages, do those not go through your head too when you're just like the worst thing could happen?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I'm currently thinking, but I am currently, as we're recording this, going through a very bad thought spiral about a thing in my personal life that's currently may or may not be happening. So
Oh
I
no.
I understand this episode perfectly.
Yeah,
I mean,
it
here, I
sucks.
won't have to edit this episode for like a week or so I'm just gonna say this out loud and see if it gets cut. Currently, my mother is not answering her cell phone, and I'm getting a severe flashback to when my father did not answer his cell phone, and the reason he didn't answer his
Mm,
cell phone is because he was dead.
that's concerning.
Yeah, let's
I'm
see.
sorry,
Let's see how
Robert.
well this ages. Oh boy, this comes out next week. Either next week I'll be like, oh yeah, she was fine, or yeah, no, I'm an orphan. Woo, let's go, Batman time. No, we'll see. Hey Charlie,
Hey, Robert.
I think it's time to go to the Crystal Temple for some trivia.
Let's go to the Crystal Temple. Garnet literally says, "I drink coffee for breakfast" in this episode when kids dunked on her. Like, "Oh no, I'm fine. I drink coffee for breakfast." And it's a reference to like just the most common phrase, like I eat, drink this thing for breakfast when you're exaggerating how tough you are.
It reminds me of that episode of SpongeBob. How tough are you? How tough am I? I had a bowl of nails today for breakfast. Yeah? Without any milk. Go right ahead, sir.
Without any milk. I love that.
So it's revealed that Garnet has future vision, which is more commonly known as precognition. It was hinted in Arcade Mania by Amethyst and Pearl, but Garnet confirms it this episode. Also, this ability might explain why she's really good at Meat Beat Mania.
Yeah, she's just really good at the beat, okay? It's the predictability of it, I think, that helps with the future vision.
Right,
It like lets her just like zone out.
right.
I love this for her.
Mm. She has her stem.
Mm-hmm. So Stephen, when he was making his sandwich, it was a sandwich of lettuce, sliced cheese, and mayonnaise. And I guess that's a reference. It's a reference to the short Singles, which is a Rebecca Sugar animated short. I did not know about this.
Big gasp.
It's about a character who experiences extreme anxiety.
And in cultural references, so the bear that Steven has is probably a reference to Kanye West, which I mean, Kanye didn't have the fucking best reputation when this episode came out. That reputation has since gone down further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Gross. Wait, I'm gonna have to send that to you. Okay, wait. Robert, do you know about Pearl's secret rap career?
Oh, yes, I'm aware of this.
Yeah, no, okay, so like there's like a mashup of like that, but they add in American Boy because it's Estelle. So like for some reason they're just like, yeah, let's just have Estelle and fuck, what's Pearl's actress's name? Um just them singing together, but it's not Steven Universe song. And it's amazing.
It is truly amazing. But yeah, speaking of Estelle, Garnet's reaction to it is probably a reference to the song American Boy because her voice actress collaborated with Kanye West.
So Steven, all of his funny toys that he had are probably references to other media. There's Yoshi from Mario, there's Cloud from Final Fantasy, Furby, Sonic, Starfy, and some Transformers.
And then Steven's posters are also probably parodies of actual franchises like Star Wars, Star Battlers, Naruto, Ninja Squad, and Naruto Shippuden, or New Ninja Squad.
And then in Steven's room, there's also like a coffee mug with the Cartoon Network logo, but like the 2010 one. Amazing.
Hey, so that scene where Steven and Garnet are working out, it's a parody of Korean national gymnastics. The song And I was like, I know this is a language. This isn't like made up words. It's Korean. It says, let's work out. 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2.
I was like, I know this is a real thing. It's a different language. What is going on here? There's some reference going on. Very interesting.
Right.
Okay, so our little like anxiety spiral animations are reminiscent of some animations in a show called ToeJam and Earl. What is this?
ToeJam and Earl is a really like old video game. It's a video game. Has not been updated in a while. I played the last one, or at least I think the last one, like in 2003 or something. Yeah. So the wasps that attack Steven they resemble Beedrill from Pokemon, and I'm like, yeah, I see it.
Do they? Oh yeah, no, literally.
They do.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. It's a Beedrill. Okay.
That's just Beedrill.
At one point, Steven imagines a chandelier falling on him, and it's the Phantom of the Opera. That's what it is. That's the reference.
So when Steven in his imaginary deaths turns into a skeleton, it's a reference to how Arthur dies in Ghost and Goblins. I don't know if you've ever played any of the Ghost and Goblins games, Charlie, but they are difficult.
I shall believe you. And now our continuity. Steven's little like figurine guys that are in his room from Steven the Sword Fighter return.
Cookie Cat makes a cameo, even though it's like weird, and it's because Steven dies in like one of his little fantasies.
Steven thinks he's gonna get a high five from Lars because that's like one of Garnet's future visions, and he's so excited because he's wanted one since Lars and the Cool Kids.
Hey, so these wasps come back in the best episode of Steven Universe ever. Say, Uncle.
No!
Don't worry, none of it's canon.
Truth, it is not canon.
Except
the literal like thing that happened in one of Steven's anxiety things was the big donut falling and killing Steven, and that happened in the pilot. Like it's a reference to the pilot because they use it as a weapon. Don't they use it to catch the thing?
Yes, they do.
I think that's what happens.
They used it to catch the skull thing in the first episode. In the pilot, I mean.
In the pilot. Good times.
Good times. Hey, Charlie, who are you giving your
pearl points to?
Jinx, you owe me a Coke. I'm giving my pearl point to the bees because they come back in Say Uncle.
No. I hate that. Oh god, who am I giving my pearl point to? You know what? I'm giving it to poor little Steven. Steven deserves a pearl point today for Garnet giving him anxiety. I would have given it to Garnet for saving Steven, but she caused him a lot of harm to his psyche in his episode.
Just gave the boy anxiety.
Yeah.
And the question, how often you think about death? No.
If you could see into the future, like what would you want to be able to see into the future? How about that? Would you want to be able to have the gift of prophecy or see into the future or divination or what have you, fortune telling? Would you want this in full accuracy?
No.
There you go. If I had it, I wouldn't use it.
Oof. Well, Charlie,
Robert, before my computer dies again,
if every computer were perfect, you'd have a good one. If every podcast were perfect,
we wouldn't have the bits.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast socials at The Bits SU Pod on Instagram and Tumblr. You can send a message to our Diamond line through thebitssupod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms, and I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Robert, at the Damn Meme page on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Damn is spelled D-A-M. If you want to hear more from me, check out one of my many podcasts. I have a Once Upon a Time podcast called Entering Storybrooke, a Kim Possible podcast called That's a Sitch, and an Oseman Verse podcast called the Truum Grammar Book Club.
The Bits is proud to be a part of Deus Ex Media, which features great podcasts like The Restricted Section, a chapter-by-chapter Harry Potter pod with lots of spoilers all the time.
Hey, what's up? My name's Christina, and I'm the host of The Restricted Section, which is a super pro-trans rights Harry Potter slander, Harry Potter book club podcast in which all of those weird kids you went to high school with are still reading the damn thing, but now we don't like it as much. Come along with us as we break down this classic fantasy series and show you how it is actually extremely problematic, not only the author, but also the text itself. We should have known. We were so young and innocent. If only we could have trusted the adults who were writing the things that we put into our brain. But anyway, don't get me wrong, we enjoy Harry Potter, we have a good time. We're currently covering Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, which is probably for the best because I don't really remember any of that book, despite the fact that I've read it probably 10 times. Come along with me into the world of Harry and take a intersectional feminist lens, a racial justice lens, a queer rights lens, all the lenses that the author probably wishes we wouldn't use to break down this book to figure out why we love it and why it's bad. New episodes every Wednesday wherever you get podcasts.
Deus Ex Media.